All right, I started streaming. Let's monitor real quick, see what comes up. Okay, let's mute that. That wasn't okay. That was YouTube. So we are streaming to YouTube.
Okay. Hi, YouTube.
And we are streaming to Twitch.
Hi, Twitch.
No, I just hope the email notifications go out because they didn't last week. Okay, hopefully this works.
All right. I closed the chat because I'll get distracted.
And then the tweet just went out because of the Twitter one, the Periscope.
Okay.
So we're live on Twitter as well.
Hi, Twitter. So YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Nintendo Dads is streaming. Yep, I just got the notice too.
Is that the email or from?
Because I'm on Twitch. On my mobile
okay,
app.
Twitch. Okay.
Yep. It says Nintendo Dads is live.
Yes. So check my email, see if that came out. I don't think it did. Yeah. Thanks, YouTube. You suck.
Are we not on YouTube?
No, we're on YouTube. It's just they're not.
Oh, okay.
They're not sending notifications out to.
Oh, the well, let me see. Oh no, I
So
don't see anything there.
The only way people would hop on is if they saw my soon tweet or they look.
Or they just know the time to come on.
Yeah.
They're gonna watch it live. All right. So are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Here we go to do my first intro. 3. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 255, recorded on November 21st, 2019. On tonight's episode, Jesse and I discuss Game Awards nominations, Pokemon Prince Money, and why it's your fault Animal Crossing has a subscription. Without further ado, Jesse, cue that music.
Greetings, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time zone you're in, but welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 255. Again, with no Marty and no Justin, I'm the one doing the intro, and you all know how often I don't do that. So let's see how well this goes. So
we'll get through it.
We'll get through it
together.
So it's just the two of us. Tim, thanks for joining.
No problem. How was your day today?
Pretty good. Starting to burn some of my holiday vacation at work for the end of the year. So I logged off and don't plan on logging again on until Monday. So taking tomorrow off so I can sleep in tomorrow. Not normally Friday is a rough day, but now I don't have to worry about that. I just hope I don't get texted saying, "Hey, we need your help," which is very likely because I'm the team lead. So if no one else can figure something out, they don't go to me. And if they do, that's fine. But I hope
gives you the opportunity, hopefully, to sleep in, right?
Yeah, yeah. Last summer when I went on vacation, they were bugging me the entire time. Which again, I didn't mind because I really wasn't into the vacation. I didn't want to be there, so I wanted the distraction. But this year, our boss gave a goal to the team, saying this year when I was on vacation for E3 week, they said, "Don't talk to him," and they did.
On your own.
And they did. No one talked to me, so that was good.
That's good.
And then so I'll be taking Fridays off the rest of the year. Like next week will be Thursday, Friday because of Thanksgiving, and then we're going to December, like the entire week of Christmas and the entire week of New Year. So I'm like two-week block. That's something I don't do very often. So we'll see how well that works.
Yep. For me, I got the Black Friday off too. Hopefully to catch up on some gaming on that day, and then also I have the Christmas holiday off. So hopefully I'll catch up on that time too.
Yeah,
with my kids.
So I work for a credit card company. So while I'm not actively doing anything, our support team is, because that's monitor the systems, because that's our big day. That's one of our 3 big days of the year. With the maximum of applications and authorizations. So if our systems go down, bad things happen. So while I'll have my phone nearby on call, but I don't plan on being logged in unless they need me.
So you do coding, right?
Yeah.
You ever want to try to code a game?
I've tried making iPhone apps in the past. I actually had a few out on the store like 10 years ago, but they were more small applications, like a calculator type of app. I've never wanted to make a game. The front end GUI, make it pretty aspect of development, I've never been good at. I'm more background processing. So, I do IVR work.
Part of a team then to make a game.
Maybe, yeah. But
I think we talked about this before, that maybe we just get a group of us Nintendo dads and people, Nintendo dad fans or whatever, together to make a Nintendo dad game.
Yeah. That'd be interesting having us as characters in a game.
It would be,
kind of like doing what Doki Doki Panic did with the 4 characters from their TV station.
Okay.
Yep.
Which and there was that one Switch game that has some podcast faces in it too, right?
It was a YouTube game.
Was it? Well, there is a YouTube game, but there's another game that Justin had that he was playing. That it was a dot game or something where you had to go from top to bottom, and then you could get like some of the faces. I can't remember, but anyways,
I don't remember. Anyway, okay. So let's go with the news. I have a button here. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, it was turned down.
Let's try that again. And our news, as with every week, is sponsored by our wonderful patrons at patreon.com/NintendoDads. For as little as $1 a month, you can join us in our Discord, participate in monthly mayhems, and participate in Tim's new show.
The dinner table.
The dinner table. Now, let's say you want to give your elevator pitch on that.
Yeah, sure. We just had our first episode this past Friday night into Saturday morning for me, Eastern Standard Time. It was at midnight. But it was a blast. I had a lot of fun with several of the other Nintendo dads of the group, or Patreons. Basically, if you're a Patreon, I put out an invite saying, "Hey, I'm going to do a show." It was the middle of the month this month, but it'll probably be the middle of the month December. And basically, I call it the dinner table because I follow a dinner table format where I invite people to the table to have an appetizer, a main dish, and dessert. And basically, the appetizer is small, little bite-sized topics that we talk about really quick. And then we talk about the main topic, which is the main dish. And then we have a dessert if we have time. And then also in there too, part of the main dish, I have everybody bringing part of like a potluck where they bring their own dish, which is a topic of their choice, or it's more of a game they want to bring that really they want to share with everybody to say, hey, this is a game I think everybody should pay attention to. And it doesn't have to be just a Nintendo game. we had somebody bring a tabletop game, and then we had somebody bring a GameCube game.
Yeah, I actually saw the villainous game like
Yes.
on a store shelf, and I told my wife, "Hey, this looks interesting,"
Yes.
but she didn't seem too thrilled, so I put it back on the shelf.
Well, talk to Jason. He might be able to convince her otherwise. But
She's not all that into tabletop games, so especially if it's a 2-hour play, not
Yeah.
not a game for her.
well, if I understood it correctly, it was more like a card game. It was a card-based game,
Right.
if I understood it right. So if she likes cards, maybe. But it is something that intrigued me. And then we did have somebody bring in, free to play the Kirby Clash game. That was Nick. And Sam brought Damon Ex Machina. He wanted to talk about that because he said he felt like he was the only one shouting out in the Damon Machina, Damon Ex Machina room.
Because I don't know if any of us played it, because I know I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not-
one of those games I put on my Christmas list. But
Yeah.
as he pointed out, it is a niche game, because you gotta be a fan of mechs essentially to even probably approach it. So, and then Dan was the one who brought the GameCube game, which was crap, I can't remember what. the game
WarioWare
was.
Inc.
What's that?
WarioWare Inc.
Was it Wario? No, it wasn't Wario. Was it?
Someone brought up WarioWare.
Oh, man.
I listened to the show earlier today because it came
Okay.
up. So that's what.
And maybe it was. Maybe it was. It
And-
probably was.
Didn't you write this down somewhere?
I did write it
You were
down.
you were taking notes.
I was taking notes. There's actually,
Anyway,
I
so
typed it out. That's why it's not in my notebook.
okay, so yeah, the show will be available immediately for $15 or more patrons for I think 3 days. Then we open it up to all patrons, and then the Thursday. I think Tuesday morning, and then Thursday morning it goes live on the normal feed for everybody to listen to. So if you want to hear it early, there's another. Even if you don't want to participate in the show, you're welcome. That's another perk for being a patron.
Yes. And that was, like I said, it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing December's. So be on the lookout if you're a Patreon for that notice to go out. And that was WarioWare that he talked about. Oh no, wait, no, that was one of his 3 games. He talked about Pikmin. Sorry.
Oh, it was Pikmin. Okay, I knew WarioWare was mentioned somewhere.
That was the dessert act, by the way. Was the
Right.
What are the top 3 games? What are the top 3 games you would recommend to somebody to play before they die? Because I mean, we all probably would have hundreds of games that we would recommend, but we only had time for 3 each.
Yeah.
So-
the Yu-Gi-Oh is not one of them.
No, it's not.
Not for everybody.
Yeah, I could see that. So that was fun.
Okay, so our first main news headline is the Game Award nominees were announced, and I didn't write them all down, but I took note of anything that was Nintendo related. I mean, basically, if it's on the Switch, I put it on the list. So most of the games I listed here are indie games, or multi-platform games, so not necessarily Switch exclusive. I'll start from the bottom and go up. So, best esports game, Fortnite and Overwatch. So kind of no surprise there. Fresh indie game presented by Subway is Grease, My Friend Pedro, Slay the Spire, and Untitled Goose Game. So those are 3 out of the 4 games were on the Switch, or 4 out of the 5 games were on the Switch.
And
Best
the way, are you going through all the games or what you got listed here? In our
I'm
notes?
just going what I have listed here because
Okay.
I'm not
So
going to.
These are the ones that are on the actual Switch, right? These are.
Yes,
Gotcha.
right. Best multiplayer game, Tetris 99. Best sports/racing game, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Yeah, and then if the category didn't have any Switch games, I don't even have it listed here. There's a few of those.
Yes.
Best strategy game, Fire Emblem Three Houses and Wargroove. And this one, I think Nintendo has a good chance of winning. It's the best family game, of which all 5 games are on not only are
All
on the
Nintendo
Switch,
published.
but they're all Nintendo published games. So my first thought was, it's telling that no other console is putting out good family content. That if there is any out there, it's all gotten blown over by Nintendo's games.
Right.
We have Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World. And I was glad that they included Smash Bros. Ultimate this year, because they didn't last year due to the release was after the break. So I'm glad that they remembered that the game exists.
Yes.
And the fact that, and we'll talk more about that one later. Okay, best fighting game, again, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mortal Kombat 11. Best action/adventure game, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Best action game, Astral Chain. Best community support, Fortnite. I saw some of the other options there and literally laughed because no, that should not have been nominated. But I won't get into that. Okay. Best independent game, Baba Is You, Katana Zero, and Untitled Goose Game. Best ongoing game, Fortnite. Games for Impact, Glees. I'm excited for this one. Best score/music, Sayonara Wild Hearts, and Cadence of Hyrule: Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Best art direction, we have Grease, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. And then the game of the year, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I'm excited to see if any other if they're able to win, or if one of the other games will trump it. I think they have a panel of judges in addition to internet public votes where people can log in and vote once a day on something. I imagine that the internet vote, as like the winners of the internet vote, counts as one vote from the rest of their panel. So the internet, it isn't 100% internet vote. But still your vote can matter. So if you want to go in, go to the Game Awards site, go to the nominees page, or if when I first did it on the first day, the site was down just because it was getting hammered by everybody, especially all the news outlets trying to copy all this information down. If you search for TGA nominees in Google, you'll get a quick little Google form up with all the categories, all the nominations, and you can vote directly from the Google page. And that's literally how I got this information. Because I couldn't get the information from the Game Awards website.
Or be a patron, be in our Discord, and you can get the link that you shared with everybody.
Right, which is the same Google link.
Which is the Google link, right? Yep.
Right. Okay, so is there anything in here that you don't think belongs, or you think something was missed, or are you happy with this list?
I was surprised actually that Fire Emblem did not make it to the game of the year category. I know that's probably not a surprise to many because it is, I guess, considered a niche game itself. But I don't know. I just thought there was a lot more to it that a lot of people really liked. That I thought story wise would have been a good contender for game of the year.
Yeah, the only thing that I thought was missing was some Nintendo representation in the role-playing game. Though I don't know what game I would recommend, so maybe the fact that they weren't nominated is telling. Gotcha. But I kind of would like to have seen a Nintendo RPG up there too. Again, I don't know the rest. I didn't write down the entire list, so I don't know what is there. But I just know that's one of the categories that has no Nintendo representation.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this list.
Yeah, I thought
I'm rooting for Cadence of Hyrule.
Yes, and I actually what I was surprised about was well, I guess I shouldn't say surprised, but actually, I thought it was pretty cool was when I went to turn on my Switch today. There was a news item about the Game Awards on the Switch. When you go turn it on and the first screen you see before you hit A three times or whatever, on the left there was Game
Yeah.
Award nominations, and I clicked on it and it gave a list of all the nominations that you could play on the Switch. So, and then when you go there, you go see, when you tap on one of the games, you go to the eShop, you can see the game, you can add it to your favorites if you need be or buy it. And then when you hit the back button, it doesn't take you back to the news item, it actually takes you to a big page where it has all the games listed, and you can see kind of the ones you did purchase. And then because I thought it was cool because I could look at it and see, oh, okay, so I do have all these games that I haven't had a chance to play yet, and then some of them that I didn't mark down as on my wish list. So, which I thought was pretty cool. So out of the games they had listed, they had like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. So there was 21 games there that they had listed that were available in their eShop. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So almost half of them I have.
Nice.
But I haven't played all half of them. I have them in my, because I wanted them. But
yeah, like I bought Baba Is You, didn't really like it. I bought Untitled Goose Game and haven't even tried it yet.
right,
I downloaded Fortnite, but I think I've since deleted it, so I'm sure that counts.
Yeah,
as,
it counts as purchased.
Yeah, I bought Ring Fit Adventure, and it's still sitting in the box.
Yeah, that's another one of those on my Christmas list.
Yeah, but you can't buy that one digitally.
Right. Yep. So yeah, my wife knows I want that one. So we'll see. We'll see if that's a list item that she encourages me to work out or not.
Yeah, I haven't had the time to do it. Maybe I know because I don't want to do it down here because I don't think I have a lot of room. I want to wait till I can do it upstairs, but I don't have a Switch dock up there, and I know we're looking at buying a new TV next week. So once everything's situated upstairs and I can get a dock up there, then I'll probably finally get a chance to give it a try. And my wife's actually interested in trying it out too.
Okay.
So we'll finally get a chance to see what that's like. I thought there was something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember anymore.
Well, one of the things too that I thought of when I looked at the list online to vote, I guess it depends on how you approach it, right? So I looked at it at first. I was looking at it like, well, I haven't played all these games, so how can I really vote on these? But then I was thinking, well, you know what? Actually, it's more of just vote for your favorites, I guess, right?
Right,
So,
which is why the internet vote, I think, as a whole, should only count as one vote of their panel.
right.
Because it is
it's
more
biased.
of a popularity contest more than
Yeah.
is the game good.
Right.
Because, give a game a 7 out of 10 and people throw bricks in your window.
Right. Yes.
Or say Pokemon's good and the same thing happens.
Right. Yeah.
Because people are stupid.
People. Oh, people, come on.
Okay, speaking of Pokemon, we got a press release came out this morning saying that the Pokemon Sword and Shield sold a few copies. It's officially the highest grossing Pokemon launch ever. I think that was a US stat, but probably worldwide as well. This is the fastest selling Switch game ever. It's in the opening weekend, so 3 days, sold 6 million units worldwide, which includes 2 million units in the US alone.
That's crazy.
And you think, what did Let's Go sell? 11 million worldwide? And most of that was like the first 2 weeks, and after that it kind of bottomed out?
That is
Or
a
at
good question.
least it was the first quarter. So it'll be interesting to again. I think once holiday shopping will still move a lot of units, but I don't know if this will have a long tail. Most Pokemon games do, but Let's Go seemed to not. It kind of dropped off really quick. So
Well, let's see. It says the games have combined worldwide sales of over 11.28 million as of September 2019.
Okay, so they sold like a million in the last 6 months versus 10 million in the first 3 months,
Yeah,
or something like that. Anyway, and the question I don't know of, because when they say units sold, they sell a combo pack that has 2 games in it, but it's one unit. So do they count it as one unit, or do they
or
count
do
it
it.
as 2 units, of which the 6 million units sold could still mean 7 million copies are out there. We don't know.
Maybe does it use the SKUs because it's still two separate box. There's the even though it's a dual pack, the individual boxes are in the dual pack box.
Right. So there's ultimately 3 SKUs on the shelves for this game: sword SKU, shield SKU, and the both SKU.
Gotcha.
So when they say 6 million units, obviously it's all 3 SKUs combined. But are they counting the double pack as 2, meaning there's 6 million copies of the game, or
Right.
if a million of those are combo packs, then there's actually 7 million copies of the game out there with 6 million units sold. I don't think they've made that clear, and I don't know if they ever will.
Right.
They might, like when we get to hear the quarter and fiscal numbers, they might break that down, but I'm kind of not expecting them to do so.
Right. Did they ever do that with Sun and Moon or anything like that, or Ultra Sun and Moon? Did they ever break down
Not in the individuals, but they've also never sold them as a double pack before.
Sun and Moon? They did.
Did
'Cause
they?
I got that as a double pack
Hmm. I guess I missed that.
because I got the steel book for that one too.
Okay. Okay. I think that's what happens when you buy everything digitally, is you don't even pay attention to what's being sold.
Yeah.
Excuse me. 1 second here.
Well, and especially too when you don't have to worry about buying for your kids anymore, right? All your kids are buying for themselves pretty much.
Right. Though I did buy, I did buy one for the youngest daughter and gave it to her for her birthday.
Okay.
But yeah, the oldest daughter doesn't want it, and my son bought it, but I indirectly paid for it
Yeah.
because he sold me his Fire Emblem game for $40,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and I gave it to him in eShop money, and then he had another 25 eShop credit from something else, and then he spent the tax, whatever the $1.50 left was.
Right.
He spent gold coins on that, so he didn't buy that. He didn't have to spend any real money on that.
Yeah. Well, I accidentally got two dual packs
I heard.
because I forgot I had pre-ordered the Best Buy version, and then when I found out Target was doing the Steelbook, I immediately, because that was within the last month, I found out I think they were doing the Steelbook, so I pre-ordered it there, completely forgetting that I already pre-ordered it. So I got the one from Best Buy. I'm getting the one from Target this Monday. Um, and I was thinking that probably just taking the Best Buy one back, but then I just realized that I think I'm gonna talk to my wife about it, but I think she might actually like it because she's got the light, the Switch Lite. So
Yeah.
and she's in playing Stardew Valley. She likes the Animal Crossing games. Um, and there's an element, I think, if I remember correctly, in the new Pokemon games where there's that camp. You can do camp and you have your own little place you can kind of build
Yeah.
up or whatever. So, and then of course, the collecting part, which she has a kind of thing for doing in some of her games is collecting things and having fun with that. So I thought maybe that although we already have one dual pack, that maybe my wife and I will share the other dual pack. So we'll see. Maybe I'll end up keeping them all. I'll be four of that 2 million US units sold.
Right.
There's my
Okay.
contribution, Nintendo.
You're welcome. Okay. Then the last news item we have here is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp subscriptions.
Yes.
And so I know nothing about this. So I'll let Tim talk to what he's found in his research.
Yes. So I actually found out from my wife and daughter because they're into the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp game. I talked to them about it, asking them because I saw in my email because we have the Apple family thing that they purchased the 30-day trial for the Happy Help plan. Uh, they got that trial, and it's normally $3 a month for that, but you get the first through 30 days for free. So I asked them, why did you guys decide you wanted to try it? And they said because one, well, they were being silly, but they were like, oh, the helper or camp caretaker thing is cute because they can, get one of the animals to follow them around and wear the same outfit and all that kind of stuff. But in all seriousness, no, they mentioned that the reason why they wanted to try it out is because the helper for the campgrounds can do a lot of the tedious things they don't have to do anymore, which is one of the main things you can do in the game is go around, talk to all the different animals in the different areas of the campgrounds, and do different tasks they ask for in order to get different gifts. And then you build your friendship with them up, and then it brings up their level and all that kind of stuff. But I guess what the helper does is they go around doing all those tasks for you and getting those gifts. The only downside to it is that they don't you don't get the friendship points, but the helper does. So the helper gets their levels up for friendship, which in turn that helps you and your helper, because that helper will, when they get to the max level, you can then swap out for a new helper to help build up their levels, so that even though you're not getting the levels, your helper is, and you're meeting those goals. So,
But if you're not doing it anymore, does your level really matter?
It does when you're trying to like get all those friends, the animal friends levels up, because that's part of the game part of it, So, but I guess it's you don't want to do it all the time. The helpers to do it some of the time when you're not on the game, they'll go around doing that kind of thing for you, and then there's some other things they'll do as well. The other side of it is that you get, because you're paying $3 a month, you get 60 Leaf tickets per month, which is I think it's 99 cents for 20 on their own, 20 Leaf tickets. So you get 60.
So this is only $3 a month? That doesn't sound so bad then.
Yeah, this part is $3. There's another part where there's a plan, what's called the Cookie and Depot plan, which is actually $7 a month. So you can actually pay like a total of $10 a month.
Oh, so it's not one is not a superset of the other. They are two separate plans.
Correct. There's two.
So if you want both, you have to buy both. What's the other one do?
The Cookie and Depot plan is basically you get 5 fortune cookies, which the fortune cookies is kind of like your loot crate, if you will, in a way, where you get certain items. But the only problem is, and my wife would tell me this, or she told me this, that you can get duplicates. So it's not, you get 5 cookies, but you could end up 5 duplicates, and she felt like that's a waste of money. But on the other hand, my daughter was like, yeah, I'll give you $10 of my allowance every month because I'm in. So, and then you'd also not only get that, but you also get, what was the other thing? Additional storage. So if you collect a lot of things, or you build or craft a lot of things, you get, I think it was 6 additional storage units to store the things that you've created. Because if that's one of the things your main part of the game you do is craft things, you run out of space quickly. So that allows you to have, I think, up to 6 more storage areas to give you all the room you need. Yeah. So that's basically it. There's 2 different plans for $3 and $7. And
so
USD.
You said your daughter wants to do both. Your wife,
yes.
What's she planning on doing?
She's said that she's got some credit in her Apple Store credit that she'll probably just use and then add every now and then, and keep the $3 thing, and then probably cancel it when she's done or whatever. And probably she'll probably keep it until Animal Crossing for the Switch comes out.
Right. Which it's only 4 months away now, so
right.
That's only $12.
Yes. That's not much.
Well, $9 if you get the first 30 days for free.
Correct. and usually she gets a Apple iTunes card in the stocking, so she won't have to pay anything probably.
And then, as we teased in the beginning, we said it's your fault that they have subscriptions because we mentioned, I think, last week that, or I think we mentioned last week that the Mario Kart mobile game just made a crap ton of money with their subscriptions.
Yes, that was what that was in reference for.
35 million dollars, I think, is what's in the back of my head. I don't know, I have no idea if that's accurate or not, but that's insane.
I think Justin did tweet out that kind of thing where he said it's your fault we're getting the Animal Crossing subscription because of the how well Mario Kart subscription did. So, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a Pocket Camp player, so I have no idea. I didn't follow this news item at all. So,
yep.
Thank you for doing that legwork.
Sure.
Okay, I have a topic for Let's Discuss. Oh, that sounded bad.
It sounded fine on my side.
Okay, give me a minute here.
Okay. I can make the music, How was that? Did that work? No? Okay, fine.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, that hasn't happened in a while, but sometimes my mixer the virtual mixer will glitch out, and so what you hear is fine. What's on the stream, I think, is fine, but what I hear is garbage. And so that included when you talked as well. So.
Oh, okay. And then you didn't hear my music version of the music then?
No, because
you had to reset.
Because the mixer was down, and it takes 5 seconds for it to come up, and with it down, I can't hear anything.
Darn, you missed gold then.
It went through the stream, so I think it's in the podcast. I just didn't hear it.
Right.
Okay. So, what have you heard about this COPPA thing? Are you following along, or?
Not much other than what you've been posting to us in Discord. So I'm not 100% clear of what it is.
Okay. Though. So COPPA, it's not exactly sure what it means. COPPA. It's a law that was passed in the late 90s. So it's been around for 20 years or 19 years. Basically prohibits companies to collect data on children under 13, which is why you're not supposed to make a Twitter account or a Facebook account until you're 13. And
gotcha.
And so as a result, what YouTube does when it collects data is it throws targeted ads at you. And of course, it was still throwing targeted ads at children, and they got their hand slapped to the amount of $170 million as a fine paid, from the FTC. So, I think as a result of their negotiations, in addition to paying that, YouTube now gives us a checkbox saying your channel or individual videos are targeted at kids, yes or no. And any videos that are flagged as targeted for kids basically will not appear in searches, will not have notifications sent out to subscribers, will not have a comment section. So this basically kills the video. So the only way anyone that will watch it are people who actively goes to your channel to look for it, because there's no other way to find it. And they're saying that if the FTC finds a video, when they start enforcing this in January, that is marked as not targeted for kids, and they think it is, they could fine the content creator up to $42,000 per occurrence. Ooh. So that's making people scared.
Right. Yeah, or 42,000 does make people scared.
Yeah, because if that's someone's YouTube career, that's probably your annual income.
Right. Yeah.
For one occurrence. So I think it was Mikey Burgett, but someone asked us, "Will this impact us?" And my thoughts of this are, I don't think it will, because there's already an algorithm out there on YouTube that went through is starting to scan videos, auto flagging content as meant for kids. And I went back and checked the last 2 years of our videos, and like 4 or 5 videos were flagged, and all of them, I think all but one involved, like Gary's daughter was in it, or Marty's son was in it, or
Right.
something along those lines. So if there's a kid in the video, it's more likely to be flagged.
Okay.
Most of all of our other content has not been, which I'm glad, because yes, we are a family-friendly environment. We are not targeting kids with our content. We are targeting the parents of kids, as you all know. So I'm hoping, kind of fingers crossed on this, that I think that before fines start being thrown around, I don't think it'll be 100% bot driven. I think there will have to be humans watching these videos, but
Hope so. Yeah.
making sure, because I don't remember the channel, I'm sorry, but one person actually looked at the FTC's website or the COPPA's website of previous lawsuits that they've had since its inception, and in 19 years it was like 21, or it was almost one per year, and they were all big guns, big toy companies. It was a cookie company because they had kids, a birthday club, sign up for free cookies on their website. But they're collecting data on kids, so it was bad. And they think they had it was $100,000 fine for that. And so they, if they do start throwing their weight around more on the content creators, I think it will be initially the big people. And they use the words "fish in a barrel" literally in a press conference.
Okay.
YouTube is the barrel and the creators are the fish.
Right.
So they know they have this power now, but they're going to go for the big channels, like
The ones that have millions of followers. And
yeah,
stuff.
and the ones that make the ones obviously for kids, like the Elsa and Spider-Man dance.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that garbage.
Yeah.
So again, so I think due to the low number that got auto flagged, and we're definitely a smaller channel, I don't think we will be impacted. While it doesn't really matter who's watching it, because obviously if they're under 13, we don't know you're watching it,
Right.
because we don't get that data, because Google isn't supposed to be collecting it, even though they are, which is why they got in trouble. But our own the analytics that YouTube gives us in the last month, from the 13 to 18 age range, 0.0% have watched a video in the last month, which
What?
means
Why aren't they watching us?
it's
What the
not
heck?
not necessarily because it's rounded to one decimal point. It could be as much as 0.04% and would still show the same. But I went back and asked for the same stats for the last year, and it was like 3.4%. So such a small percentage of 13 to 18s are watching our content. I'd imagine even less are watching it if you're under 13. Because
I'm so disappointed my daughter's not watching. What the heck? No.
well, all three of my kids who are in the 18 to 25 range are none of them are watching this stuff either.
Right. That's funny.
Anyway, so I don't
Well,
think
that's
it's
good.
going to impact us.
Well, that's good that
I-
we're, I don't think it would either. I mean, just from what you were posting, it seemed like that we weren't the type of group they would be looking for anyways.
Right.
So, because we're not advertising towards kids anyways.
Yeah, some of the channels that are more likely to be impacted, like Lockstin and Noggin, They do a lot of Pokemon videos.
Okay.
Again, not not aimed at kids.
Right.
It's aimed for the adult Pokemon fan, because they get into physics and calculations and some certain things. They're just putting a Pokemon spin on it. But because he uses animated Pokemon avatars, it could be appealing to kids, and that could be enough. The main problem that a lot of people have with the FTC ruling is that the laws that they have out is vague as hell.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are putting in petitions, and the FCC has welcomed comments. They said, we want to hear from you. So people are putting in, we need these things to be more specific. These are very vague. And, I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on doing it. Saying something along the lines of, make sure that there is a clear distinction between family-friendly content, which isn't necessarily targeted at kids, versus content that is targeted as kids.
Right.
I'm not going to mention which channel I'm at, just to point fingers, paint a target on our backs, but I can still be vague enough. If they can be vague, I can be vague. Right. Saying, hey, we make family-friendly content, but it doesn't mean we target kids. And even if we did, we don't get data to collect.
Right. Yeah.
So, again, I think it's kind of unfair that they are going after creators, because in the bottom of everything, it's still YouTube's fault.
Yeah, because we're getting our data, our analysis from them, of who our watchers are.
Right. And even the data we do get, we don't get anything about people under 13. Because,
right.
So, I think once things start going in January, February, we'll see if anything ever happens, and if it does, who, and how much, and then that may start reshaping who does what.
Right.
Yeah, like Arlo is another target, probably, because he's
a Muppet.
He's a Muppet.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can't use the term Muppet because it's copyrighted Henson. But he is a blue fuzzy monster, and that is his. Those are the words he uses.
Yep. Yes. Well, and two, it goes along with the whole YouTube Kids and what they were trying to do in using their algorithms to identify videos that were safe in the YouTube Kids environment, and what ended
sounds
up
like
being
this
in there
puts and here's another twist, a take that I came up with last night. If all these videos meant for kids are being removed from search and recommendations, all that's going to be left are the stuff you don't want your kid to see.
Yeah.
So this could hurt YouTube more than we think.
Well, and the way my kid watches it, my youngest, especially when he's in YouTube, he'll search for one thing and then go down that rabbit hole. So it's whatever's tied down that rabbit hole leads him down to these other videos is how he gets to those videos, not by searching, but how YouTube filters it in with the recommendations.
But after this, none of those recommendations are going to be episodes targeted as kids.
Right.
So what are they?
Identify it as. Maybe that's why the checkbox is there to help identify, is this supposed to be for kids? And if you are identifying it for kids, it better be. So. Right,
but then it won't show up in searches. So those that do show up in searches because I know, a lot of channels that use 4-letter words that we don't use, or we try not to use. Yep. Cough, Justin, cough.
We gotta have that. That's the next button you need to have on your thing is the bleep button.
Right. Well, by the time I hear it, it's too late.
True. That's true.
So I got to do that in post. I like the Nintendo people will put a peek out sound in so that they'll openly swear, but they'll peek out everything out of it.
Nice. We can use Gary's pew 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 thing or whatever.
Pow 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 pow
pow pow. Yeah. Pow pow.
All right. So I think that's everything I've had to say about this. Do you have any last comments before we move on?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. So next we have information on events.
Nice. 'Cause
Okay, so I have 2 Pokemon Go events coming up. The first one is is it this Sunday? Crap, I thought it was next Sunday, but I guess it's this Sunday.
Sunday.
So this Sunday from 11 to 1 p.m. your local time, whatever time zone you're in. Team Go Rocket event. So every Pokestop will be taken over by a Team Go Rocket grunt. And I know, there was when the event started. There was a big, the last big Team Go event started like the week we were off. So or there was so much other stuff going on we didn't talk about it. But there's an event now with a new special research involving the Team Go rocket, where you have, as you defeat them, you get a piece of a machine. You collect 6 pieces and it makes a rocket radar. So you're able to find one of the 3 leaders, which you cannot find any other way. So you have to. Then I think once you've built it once, you can buy another one for 200 coins. Because if you battle the leader and lose, you still have it. But if you battle the leader and win, then the machine's gone and you have to recollect the pieces or buy another one. And one of the steps in the special research is to defeat all 3 of them. So you're going to have to do, if you don't buy them, you have to get 18 grunts down to build the machine 3 times. And these leaders are hard. I tried battling one and I couldn't win. I pretty much have to handcraft a team and level it up and put the right moveset in to battle each one separately. And that's going to be a pain. But once you get past that point, the next point is to get another radar and use that to find Giovanni. But of course, it could also be a fake leader, and sometimes it might take 4 or 5 times before you actually find the real Giovanni. Though one person in our raid group said he found it on the first try, but someone else said it took him 14 tries.
Oh, jeez.
So, again, I don't even know if I'm ever going to get that far unless I can, finish grinding, leveling up my team to beat the 3 smaller leaders. But that's something I'll work on at some point.
Cool.
Anyway,
Has there been anybody else mentioning that in the Pokemon Discord channel?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone has mentioned Go stuff really other than myself in our Discord.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well,
and then
because of the new game came out.
Right. And then also during the 2-hour period, there'll be exclusive Team Go Rocket field research tasks. I'm not sure what that'll involve, but we'll find out on Sunday.
Cool.
Then the December Community Day has been detailed. Instead of being a normal 3-hour time slot, they're going to do what they did last December and have a 2-day time block. So from 9 a.m. Saturday, December 14th until 9 p.m. December 15th, again, local time, all previous Community Day Pokemon from 2019 will be available in the wild. So Totodile, Swinub, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, Ralts, Slackoth, Trapinch, Bagon, Turtwig, and Chimchar.
Wow.
And I think during the 11 to 2 normal 3-hour ranges each day will be a more focused, smaller group of like 5 or 6. But during the rest of the time, all 11 will be out there.
That's and time to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't note it, but I think it's also double candy, double XP, and half egg times. So good if you need eggs hatched, that's a good time to get that done too.
Very cool.
Okay. All right. Let's go to what we've been playing. Okay, Tim. I know you haven't been playing Pokemon yet because it's a Christmas present. But what else?
Yes.
What have you been playing?
Well, I think I mentioned it before, and I probably mentioned it on every episode I've been on before, but I've been playing Asphalt 9. It's a racing game. I do the daily stuff when I can. I don't play it every day, but I try to play it a couple times throughout the week. That's probably the easiest game I can jump in and out of throughout the week. Um, Last weekend I did play Fortnite again. Because I found out there was a Star Wars thing going on in there. So I think it's just
Yeah.
by like a stormtrooper outfit or something. I actually didn't even get a chance to check it out in the store because when I jumped in, I just jumped right into a game, and I actually in that game got my first victory royale.
Nice.
So I took a bunch of screenshots. I was so excited. I jumped up and scared the crap out of my kids because I was so excited. I got my first victory royale because I don't know how I did it. I just was like really into it, and I was didn't even know that the one person left because I wasn't even paying attention was trying to look for me. We were kind of like dancing around each other, and I just happened to turn around and see them, and I just shot him, and then I got the victory royale, and I was like, okay then.
Did you at the time? Did you know he was your last opponent?
No, I didn't know because I didn't think it was. I had no clue because I wasn't.
Okay.
I have no idea about the HUD and all this stuff because it
Yeah.
did change a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't
But-
seen what Chapter 2 looks like because that
Yeah.
happened after my son moved out, and so I haven't seen any matches yet of Chapter
Yeah.
2.
And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving now. I got my victory royale. So I was like, I'm gonna take my
Leave while
win.
you're ahead.
Yes. So yeah, I did that one, and then the next two games are a couple of games that a lot of the community has been playing, and but both these games can't stop thinking about. It's like I'm at work and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home and hopefully I find time to play, which is hard to do with just work and kids and all that kind of stuff. But when I get a chance, I try to play Luigi's Mansion 3 still because I'm not done with that. I actually just today got to the point where I was able to catch my first boo, which sounds funny.
No, it's fun. It sounds funnier when you say that you're looking for booze.
We're looking for booze like Sam did on the
Yeah.
episode, like the the dinner table. Yes, because he was going around looking for booze. Yep.
Luigi
So-
the alcoholic.
Yes. But yeah, I got the first one there, and then I just went up to the fourth floor while I was waiting to get on the call here. So I can't stop thinking about this game. This game is kind of like Mario Odyssey for me, the way that was for me, where I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't wait to jump back in. I wasn't quick to beat it like a lot of people have been, especially in our own community. I can't usually beat games as quickly as a lot of people do because of time, but and plus there's another game I'm playing too that's got my attention, and that's a non-Nintendo game, which is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I have that for the PlayStation 4, and I've been playing that one as well. And as soon as I heard that game had some Metroid Prime elements to it, I mean, it was already a Star Wars game, so I was probably going to be on board to begin with. But being single player and like Metroid Prime, and I'm a huge Metroid Prime fan, or Metroid period fan, I had to get it. So when I got it, it definitely is Metroid Prime. It has a Metroid Prime feel to it, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. With that as well when I can. That's probably going to be more of my weekend game because I like to spend a little more time in that, like a couple hours or something. But there's there's 5 planets you got to get through, and you go back to each one as you unlock new abilities, kind of like a Metroid game. You unlock new abilities, you can go back to the planet, get other things, unlock other things. But you start off on the planet Bracca, and I'm probably pronouncing these way wrong, but Star Wars planet names. But started on Bracca, went to Bogano, where I unlocked more of the story and found out where my direction is. And then I went back to the ship that I was on, and the ship is kind of like your home base, if you will, where you can do a lot of things, and kind of tweak your lightsaber and all that kind of stuff. And then you kind of get to choose which your next planet is. which the game is kind of pointing me to Zepho, to the next point to go to in the storyline. But Chris in our Discord was saying I need to go to Dothmire or Dothomire, Mir, whatever. I think it's I think I heard somebody say it was a Darth Maul's planet or his kind's planet. I could be wrong though, or that person could have been wrong. But so I think I'm gonna go with Chris's recommendation because he says I won't regret it. So next time I play, which will probably be this weekend, I'll probably head that way and get some more into that game. And I'm just super excited about what I've been playing so far. And it's actually was built in the Unreal Engine, and there's part of me that wishes it would come to the Switch, but it is by the people who made Titanfall, who EA owns. So, and we all know how EA is about bringing games over to the Switch. So,
Right.
but it is an Unreal Engine game, so you never know. You never know. So, that'd be really cool if it was. So those are the games I've been playing.
Okay, I have a much shorter list. I've been playing Pokemon Sword, and unfortunately, not as much as I've been wanting to. I'm only maybe 6 hours in, almost to the second gym, and it's not really grabbing me like I was hoping it would, and I'm having Gen 6 vibes, which are not good vibes, because
Okay.
Gen 6 had pretty lousy pacing early on, and I got to the second gym and stopped at that point. And
Really?
yeah, so with Sword, there's a lot of small issues that by themselves are pretty meaningless, but the fact that there are so many, I think, is hindering my enjoyment.
Interesting.
Like the very first thing that happens when you start the game is you're in a stadium, and like opening ceremonies of this thing, you see the chairman looks like he's ready to talk, and there's no voice. Yeah, I don't expect the whole game to be voiced over, but big cutscenes would have been nice.
Yeah, it is surprising.
And I've gone through the settings and said I want the text to scroll as fast as possible. But during those cutscenes, it scrolls fast, but then stops. You can't advance until the game wants you to advance, as if it's timed for voices that aren't there. There's lip flaps, as if it's trying to lip sync to voices which aren't there.
Hmm.
And that bothers me every time that happens. Hop can die in a fire. He is really annoying. He says, I'll race you to the next place, and you can't move until he runs off camera. So I'm like, obviously you're going to beat me there if I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
And the first encounter, when I fight him, obviously he takes you get to you pick a starter first, and then he picks the one weak to yours. So obviously when you fight, you have the type advantage. And then he makes a comment saying, "Ooh, you've already figured out type advantages. Great." I'm like, okay, fine. The first time, great. Make it one of the optional tutorial moments that obviously I don't need to tutorialize because I understand the concept. But in our 5th battle after the first gym, don't make the same stupid comment. I put
Did
on
you post about that too?
yeah, I posted. I did it on Twitter. I said, I hope this guy stops talking like this.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
the
what I
reply was, "You will be disappointed." I'm like, God. And
That's funny because I didn't hear, out of all the gripes I heard, and it wasn't a lot of gripes, just, people were, each individual person I've heard talk about this game has their own gripes about the game. And obviously you have your own, but that
Right,
was not
and-
one of,
right, it wasn't. I was the only one who said that.
as far as I can remember, you're the only one that pointed that
Okay.
one out.
Well, I think I have a few others on my list that are probably just me. So when I first got into the wild area, I loved the open camera. That was awesome. And when I got out of it, you got back to the fixed location with the camera facing north. I hated it because I hate running in or out of the camera. It's even worse running south versus running north, but I hate both. I want to rotate the camera so I'm running left or right because I can see more of the area looking for hidden items.
What did Go do? Let's Go do? Left and right or all angles?
I think they were locked as well, but they were locked all the time, so it wasn't as grating. But the fact that they open it up in certain areas and then lock it down again in others, they just let me have camera control all the time. I like how like the DS Dragon Quest games handle it. You know, just like the original Famicom NES games were camera locked, but of course it was top view, so it wasn't so bad. When the games came into DS, they were camera locked in quotes. It wasn't the documented feature, but if you hit L and R, it does rotate the camera, even if you're in a building. So sometimes you can rotate it in a weird way, so you don't know. And sometimes it's easy to lose where your north is, but L and R together will reset the camera to north.
I always like that feature when they add that.
So yeah, they, if Square could do that in a game 12 years ago, why can't we have this now in Switch games?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, and you think too with the opportunities that Game Freak had to play around with the Switch. Maybe it is true that some people thought that this was originally developed for the 3DS and then quickly changed to the Switch platform, which is why there was such a stark transition between the game and the wild area, from what I understood.
Possibly that both, since they're completely different types of gameplay, it might be done by different teams.
Oh, that's true.
And and again, likely a different team, but there was at least a limited movement camera in Little Town Hero.
Yeah,
but I think it was more limited by the engine that they used. It did chug, which
I wonder if you were mentioning it sounded or looked like that they would have put voice over in it.
Yeah,
like the mouth moving, but it wasn't done. Why there was a time crunch on it, why Nintendo or themselves put them to have to get this game out now, rather than say, this is going to be the first console version. Let's do this, give this another year maybe, where it comes out next November, and maybe just give a DLC Let's Go or something.
Well, they have an anime, movies, and toys all lined up that they don't want to delay a year.
That's true.
I think I said that last week. That's kind of the Pokemon's problem, is I said it 2 weeks. I said it last week without having yet played the game, and I kind of still agree. Is this game really needs at least a year, if not another 2 years, baked to be the polished game that people want it to be? But they just don't have the time under their deadlines to do it.
Well, for what it is so far, and I'm sure there's probably more you could talk about the game, but does it feel like it's still a good game, being its first foray on a console? Console in quotes. Even though it is portable.
I was hoping for a story, which I've heard. So far I haven't found one, and I've heard there really isn't one.
Yeah.
Outside of the do it aspect, and so it's while the game hasn't pushed me away yet, it's not really attracting me either. So I have to put forth effort into putting time into it, and as we were talking about the XP share that's mandatory in this generation. That if it didn't have it, and I had to manually manage leveling up all the Pokemon together, I probably would have already put it down.
Okay.
So, I'm one of the people that's glad the XP share is the way it is. Which again is, Let's Go did the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's new. It's new for mainline, but it's not new to Pokemon. So I'm not. I'm not upset about that.
Are they caught in a thing where they're trying to appease all audiences with this, where they want to get in new players, all from 5 to 55 or whatever, or 105, all ages, rather than focusing on maybe the hardcore Pokemon player who's been playing for 20 years or 25 years or however long it's been out, 30 years, instead of coming out with a Pokemon Pro or something.
I don't think I'm far enough into the game to be able to answer that. And we were originally planning on having Roger on, and he probably would be able to answer that. So I think we're going to try to have him on in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So at least he can put in his words. So again, I'm still playing. It's just not as enjoyable as I thought it would. And I'm also not a fan. Previous game, the games have always been linear. I think Gen 1 has a little bit of a fork. You can do 3 gyms in any order, but they're usually linear, but they don't tell you it is.
Okay.
They gate you off so you can't get certain areas until you've done certain things.
Right.
This game flat out tells you you're doing this stuff in order. And I almost used a 4-letter word.
Where's that bleep button at?
Pow, 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 pow,
There it
pow,
is.
pow.
Yeah, so they flat out tell you you're doing this stuff in order. So
All right.
I'm like, don't tell me that. Make it an illusion at least. And of course, I put out a tweet yesterday of, thanks for the artificial gate. Well, you're welcome. A dude literally is standing there protecting the path and won't let me through until I do something.
Right.
I think that was before the first gym.
The only hopes are that they learn something from Let's Go. They learn something from this the first main line into a console version, so that in a couple of years that the next version, or if it is next year, if it is a ultra version of this, that that they learn something from it and make it that much better.
Right. Yeah. The in-game excuse for why that guy was gating you was Team Yell was messed up the bridge and it was needing to be repaired.
Of course.
Which again, Team Yell is all it is a bunch of hooligans.
Doggone Team Yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, and so something else that just came into my mind and quickly left. Well, if I remember it, I'll bring back. Oh, Ibusel says Wooloo isn't a Pokemon; it's just a sheep. Oh, and a Wooloo causes problems really early in the game because he's attacking using the tackle attack on a gate. And it's just stupid to watch. Though, I speaking of Wooloo, I heard that there was a guy who already beat the game using only a Wooloo.
Wow. Is this on
Single-
YouTube?
I don't remember where I saw the article from. It might have been a Polygon article. I don't remember.
Okay.
But in the case where he was doing a dual battle by himself, where you need 2 Pokemon, he put out a Magikarp and had it do Splash, so it effectively did nothing. But it's kind of impressive that someone was able to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then, so my son, he found out really early that the starter Pokemon are shiny locked, so he knew that going into it, so he didn't waste time soft resetting the beginning of the game. And the fact that you don't get it right away, it's like a 20 minutes in before you do, that would be an annoying place to do that.
Right.
unless you're able to save it just before that encounter. But so what he did so apparently the starters are shiny locked, and the legendaries are shiny locked. So don't try that. You're just wasting time. But what he did try, so he did reboot until he got a female starter.
Okay.
So, because then at that point when he found the daycare, he went through 70 eggs trying to get a shiny Grookey, and he finally gave up on that.
Yeah.
And because his friends were like, "I'm already almost done with this game, and you're still on gym, haven't gotten to the second gym because you're shiny hunting."
Right.
So he apparently he didn't work yesterday. So when he was done with his classes, he had like a 10-hour binge session.
Wow.
And went from 2 gyms in to rolling credits.
Wow. All right. Should have him on the show and report on Pokemon then.
Right. Though he was actually he was over yesterday, showing me a few things. He was, how Let's Go had catch counter streak going on. So you catch the same Pokemon over and over again, it adds a counter, which increases the chances of a shiny.
Okay.
This game has it too. It just doesn't tell you. So he was keeping like a counter on his calculator up on his phone, keeping track of how many things. And he says he got into over 500 Zigzagoons before he finally gave up. He accidentally caught something that wasn't the Zigzagoon, and it wiped his counter. So then he went on and did something else.
Yeah.
But so of course, if I told him that using your calculator app on your phone is a lousy way to do that. Do you just want like a clicker?
Yeah.
And he thought I was joking. Or I'm like, no, dude, seriously. I went on Amazon, showed him what I was talking about. An old analog clicker.
Right.
And I'm like, if you want one, I'll buy it for you. It was $5. So he now has a clicker.
Nice. Probably pretty satisfying too, just sitting there going click, 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 click.
Right. Okay, so yeah. Again, I want to keep playing. It's just it's hard for me to find the time to do it because there's so many other things I want to do.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So hopefully getting some vacation days might help, or it just means that I'll find myself doing other things.
Right.
So again, hopefully, so sorry I couldn't be more positive about the game. Yeah, but Roger will do that in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I think Justin and Marty are both playing it. I have no idea what their opinions are, so I'm not sure. We'll talk about what they may or may not do near the end of during the closer. Any other questions about Pokemon before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so next up, we have our Extra Life winners. So let's cue up that music.
That was choppy.
Choppy to you?
Oh, you're choppy too.
Okay, give me a minute.
That's the first time I've heard that. There we go, much better.
I think this is because I didn't reboot my computer before recording. So
we're all thrown off today.
Yeah. And I don't even know if I'm going to edit that out. I think I'll just keep it in. Just
keep everybody on their toes, right?
Right. Okay.
Surprise.
So the Extra Life, he had a few last minute donations come in from the churches. I don't remember our full numbers, but I think we're over 3,500.
Yes.
So
like last number I saw was 3520 or something like that. Somewhere around there. Which as last time I looked, we beat the Mega Dads.
yeah, so Megadeth thought they had us this year, but we got in with last minute donations. So as part of the donation strategy, we had four giveaways lined up, and we did a drawing to give away those prizes, and we'll notify them through email probably this weekend, or if you hear this beforehand, feel free to reach out to us. But the winners are a month of Nintendo Switch Online? It doesn't say the duration, but I think it's
3 months.
It's a 3 month.
Yeah.
Goes to Cat Janitor.
Yay!
For the winner of a Flip Grip, the Ninformant, a $20 eShop card to T-Dog.
Yeah, T-Dog. Woo, woo, woo.
And a Satisfy bundle to CJ Wolf.
CJ.
And so CJ will get to choose whether he wants a Satisfy grip for the original Switch or for a Lite.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much for the donations, too.
Okay, I actually didn't notice any emails or tweets. So, no, I don't see any, so I guess we don't. I guess the Community Spotlight segment is a quick one. Okay, where are we at for time? Okay, about an hour 20. So, shorter show, but that's what happens when there's only 2 of us versus 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without Roger.
Yeah, we were in here probably till 3 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time.
Right. All right. So, is there anything that you wanted to add about anything before we start signing off?
Not that I could think of. I'm just, like I said, I want to get back to gaming.
Okay.
No, but this was awesome. Thanks for doing a 2-man show, Jesse.
No problem. It's it's funner to do a 2-man show than a solo show.
Yeah.
I've done a few of those, and it's just not fun when there's no one to talk at.
Yeah, that's
There's
banter with yourself, I suppose. Otherwise, that'd be a little strange, possibly.
Right. People might need to send me to Arkham or something.
Right.
Okay, so we want to have a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Chris Mears, David Ernsberger, Andrew Collette, and Sean Abbott. Don't forget we have a website, nintendodads.org, where we have our latest videos, tweets, and podcast episodes there. I think we're still working on an Amazon shop page.
Yeah, recommendations for the holidays.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that. And there's a link to our Nintendo Dads merch at Redbubble. We're on just about every social media you can think of. We're on Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or podcast@nintendodads.org. You can leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. Thanks to Adam Leonard and Carter Johnson for the art. And you can always download the podcasts with the podcast app of your choice. You can find us in CastBox, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or Spotify. Okay, thanks Tim, and thanks for everyone else who for listening in, and
thanks for everybody who bailed on us. Yeah.
That too. I was going to say that, but I changed my mind. So thank you for saying what I wanted to say.
We took care of things. We took care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. And next week, Thanksgiving, we're not going to do a normal show. We'll probably be doing pre-recorded segments chained together and scheduled to go out, kind of like we did 2 weeks ago
for Halloween.
Yeah, the Halloween episode. Yep. So expect So again, that's what I meant earlier when I said that Justin or Marty may or may not be talking about Pokemon. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows what the topics are going to be, but probably a lot of people talking by themselves, maybe grouping up, but it'll be pre-recorded. It won't be something of it live streamed.
Because we're dads. That's how we roll.
And by this time next week, I think most of us will be ready to nap.
Yes.
With all the turkey.
Yep.
So, okay, again, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Chupel, 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 chupel.